Oy vey. Hey. How are you guys? How's everyone doing on... Okay, we've got TikTok over here tonight. And we have Instagram over here. And then we have YouTube and Facebook. Okay, right here in the center. How's everyone doing? You guys could let me know where you're tuning in from. What the temps are there. Looks like, can I get a quick audio check? Hey, Denzio, how are you? Long time no see. Can we get a mic and video check? I am frizzing out, okay? This took an hour to do. It was sleek. It was shiny. I was like a crisp new pony. About 10 minutes ago. Pissing me off. Are we good on? Okay. Hey, Malsubi. Okay, can see and hear me. Vanessa, thank you. Susanna Cruz in Oregon. We have fires here in Southern Oregon. Oh, no. I'm sending you protection, Susanna. Yeah, I woke up this morning. You know, I'm here in upstate New York, you could say, okay, and everything was orange, like yellow or orange. Like, I don't know how to describe it. You know, I love orange lighting. There's a big difference between that and like LED fluorescent bright lights, you know what I mean? And that's what it looked like, almost like orange lighting outside. And we have wildfires in Canada right now, and all that air and pollution is blowing this way. So that's really scary. You guys don't have like clean air to breathe. We had this going on last year for, I want to say, a few months, and I almost lost my cats to it. I got real sick. It's really scary. Okay, I can't even see that far. So yeah, Kim, sounds good. Okay, thank you, Susanna. So yeah, Kim, if you just want to let me know, just give me a thumbs up that we're good on all platforms, and I'm going to go ahead and get into it today because I know we have a bunch of people waiting. This is one of your favorite shows. Thank you so much for supporting, you guys. Thank you for being here. We're good to go. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So tonight we are doing the Unbound Sage, where you guys drop a $10 donation. It is unlimited, so you could drop as many as you want. And I will tell you whatever is the most important message you need to hear at this time. I do want to give a quick shout out to my YouTube members: Vanessa, Andrea M, Black Cat, Jennifer Barone, Kelly Davis, Jessica Castro, Jess, Tanya Newkirk, Yolanda Fisher, Kate S, Melissa S, Sarah Sotelo, Joelle Porter, June Hawthorne, Deb Basil, Chaley, Angie Johnson, Jennifer Cole, Stella Marie, Kim Elizabeth, Denise Bennett, Jay Lebeans, Christine W, Edgar Velardes, Miami Heat 305-ish, Shauna Dempsey, Language Through Connection, Deanna Marie, Murray D, Tristan Marion, and Me Love 716. If I forgot to mention anyone, I apologize. I will give you a shout out next time, but thank you so much to my YouTube members for your continued support. The best way to support me, if you like the work that I do, is through my YouTube channel at Ask Ivy the Medium. Hit that subscribe button, hype this video, because I've been shadow banned on TikTok. They stopped paying me long ago. They've been destroying my account for 2 years. They just take followers. They never add new ones. I should be up probably 1.5 million, 2 million by now, easily. And the other platforms are very unpredictable, to say the least. With YouTube, they're not perfect, but I get paid. It's reliable. Okay, it's pretty much on the up and up. So I would say the best way to support me is through my YouTube channel, as everything else seems to periodically go haywire. Also, if you guys need to book a private reading, I do work internationally. It's a super simple self-booking system. Go to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. I want to just make a couple quick announcements before we get into this today. But before I do, Kim, my beautiful producer, is with us here tonight. So she's going to be taking your questions, your donations, making sure that everything's running smoothly. This is not a question show, so that's not what I meant by she'll be taking your questions. I mean, if you have any confusion over what's going on or where you are and things, you can go ahead and ask her in the comment section wherever you are. Now, because TikTok and Instagram don't have a description box and they don't allow us to pin comments, she has to go in the comment section over and over and over and repost whatever the directions are. Okay, so watch for her there. Now, again, if you want to do this all under one umbrella, nice and smooth, switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy, the medium. You can do everything there. Facebook, actually, you could do everything under one umbrella as well. I have recovered 3 out of my 4 Facebook accounts that were hacked by Slob last year. I've got 1 more to go, and I'm planning on getting that done this week. So stay tuned for that. The early bird wait list is now open. Couple quick announcements for my upcoming psychic mediumship course. I'm teaching once in 2027, just as I did in 2026. And once registration opens, it's going to fill fast. It is limited seating. So instead of waiting for that to happen, as I work out some kinks and details, I would strongly suggest you get on the early bird wait list, so that you're notified and you can get your foot in the door for that class. So you can email me at Rev, as in Reverend. So it's just Rev and then my name, Rev Ivy Rivera at Yahoo. And you could put up in the title, like PMC for the psychic mediumship course, or a little book emoji. Okay, I'll know what it is, and I'll get you added onto that list. Also, we were featured. We got a nice little spread, couple different pages in the Haunted History Trail of New York State, their latest magazine. So we are on the Haunted History Trail of New York State. You can also go to hauntedhistorytrailofnewyorkstate.com to watch some videos, some footage, you know, see more pics of the house. But when you guys are always asking, like, where is this? This is an 1882 Victorian funeral home. It was originally the Francis Rhodes House. Then it was a funeral home, the most popular one in the area for over 55 years. And it is now the Ivy League Psychic Academy. So I bought it a few years ago. It sat abandoned for 16 years when the funeral home got shut down. Tons of tea there. And you guys can come and stay. So if you're into spooky things, okay, if you're into the paranormal, you can come sleep here for a haunted sleepover experience with up to 25 of your friends. You can also book your ghost hunt for your crew. And if you're not into the paranormal aspect, but you love architecture and you love history, you can come here for a historical tour. Okay, we're also on the historical trail of Chautauqua County. So a never dull moment here. And there was something else I was going to announce. What the heck was it? It was probably just guinea pigs. It's like you're psychic or something. Yeah, that's okay. I have an overload of guinea pigs right now. So I actually have a wait list that's like a mile long. So that's okay. You're right, though. That's what I was thinking. So let's go ahead. We could just jump right into it today. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk. This is the Unbound Sage, where you drop a $10 donation. Tonight is unlimited, so you can get as many messages as you want. And I deliver out to you whatever's the most important message you need to hear at this time. If you want to book a party, psychic fairy healing, or private reading with me, I do work internationally. Go to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com to do that. And let's go ahead and get right into it today. Kim, who do we have first? Okay, first up is Mel Subi. Mel Subi, what's the most important message for Mel Subi to hear at this time? Most important message for Mel Subi. Who is that? You seem to be getting impatient. You seem to be getting sick and tired of doing the right thing, doing it the right way, talking as though you're calm, cool, collected. You know what it almost reminds me of is dealing with customer service. And you've now been transferred 4 times. And you're just repeating yourself, and you know they're just doing it to tire you out. You know it's not going anywhere. I see you speaking to a male, and this male has a look on his face like he's totally genuine and he doesn't understand what you mean. And he's quite aloof about the entire thing, and he's totally unaffected, as they always are, right? Because it's not their affair. And you're potentially like letting him have it. I feel like I'm getting a closed throat chakra in this. Okay. So it's not to say you have a closed throat chakra or that you will, but it's important that you express yourself. And we can't always be just like robotic, repetitive, you know, regurgitating the same stuff that you have been saying. It's like you're confronting this person, you're head on, letting this person know that something more has to be done here, that you're not doing this anymore, that you're not playing like Mr. Nice Guy. It's funny because Spirit keeps pointing at my, can you see that? It says good trouble. That's you. All right. So you're becoming good trouble. Whereas in the past, maybe you were like, no trouble. No. That's over. So I like this for you. I think it starts with this conversation. I think it begins with this person. I think this is the unfolding of a whole new beginning for you, a whole new life for you, where you are being more vocal and you're being more aggressive and you're making legitimate threats to get done. Okay, whatever needs to get done, whatever justice you need served. And it does, in fact, feel karmic and like justice. It feels like you have some situations, factors, circumstances that should be working more in your favor than what they are right now because of like red tape or politics or holdups or people not doing their job or whatever. Okay, this poker face guy just looking aloof. Now, I also want to say with this, when I first saw him, I thought this was personal to you. And I know none of this probably sounds that way, but I think because this is karmic for you, it could be hitting a couple different areas where you, for the next, I would say 3 to 5 weeks, are going to almost in a reactionary way, which I don't normally encourage, but in this case, what's left, you're responding in a way that's almost like out of character. I can't believe I did that, or I did that so well. Like, what was I channeling? Who was I channeling? Who was that? Who am I? Like looking in the mirror afterward, like, damn, you know, can't believe that. I can't believe that happened almost, you know, but I thank God it did, you know, because it works. But you could be doing this with a few different people in a few different situations, because while I feel like most of this message is falling on, you know, finances, resources, paperwork, blah, 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 all the things that I mentioned earlier. When I first saw him, I thought you knew him. And I thought this was like some type of personal, you know, relationship. So don't rule that out either, that you could be doing this with people you know, okay, on a more intimate level. in any capacity. Good for you. Let it out. Okay, the old you is gone and the new you is getting its wings. This is exciting. I like this. I like this on you a lot. All right, thank you, Mel Subi. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Anna Pekka. Anna Pekka. What's the most important message for Anna to hear at this time? Anna Pekka. You have 3 different moves to make with what feels like 2 different people in the next ballpark 3, maybe into 4 weeks. Okay. 2 moves. Wait, no, 3 moves, 2 people, 3 to 4 weeks. All right. So both of these people are males. One seems to think he's a lot smarter than what he is, and the other one's a little more reserved. He keeps his cards close to his vest. I think that the moves that you're making, one is on its own, it's a standalone, 2 are connected. It's, I heard imperative that you do. So this is, you know, about the universe watching and making decisions about your progress and things like this. Okay, you could say that this is a testing phase, I guess. I would prefer to think of this as opportunities, a phase of opportunities. So essentially with this one issue, you're supposed to be confronting something head on that gets said to you in such a manner where it's like cutting you down or deteriorating potentially, or it's, I just heard like sizing you down. This could be negging, you know, this could be a backhanded compliment. I'm taking it more as like someone's sort of joking or depreciating your worth or not fully appreciating what it is that you bring to the table. I feel like this is coming from, you know, the one guy who I would say is quite insecure. And this is what he does in a playful manner to make himself feel better. If he can watch you sort of agree with it, then you have sized your own self down. And he's like high off it, like satisfied cat. Okay. And then there are 2 other moves that you're supposed to be making that feel like you're taking power either away from like someone and you're running with something on your own. You're deciding maybe not to work with this person anymore. This could also happen in another circumstance where you're moving resources, you're moving money, because this one's a little bit bigger. Okay, it's not just hitting one area, but you're relocating, okay, some of your power, possessions, resources over to a more valuable option that can sustain you into the future, I'm hearing. Okay, so that's how you recognize the good option. I know this will sustain me into the future. Okay, it will continue also, I think, to expand. And this is all happening over the next 3 to 4 weeks. I would be very surprised, though, if it extends much beyond the 3rd week at all. Okay, this really feels like it could be done. Of course, we have a lot of hands in the pot. All right, thank you, Anna. We're going to move on to another one. Next, this is some feedback from Mel Subi. She said, thank you so much, Ivy. You're welcome. You're welcome, Melissa. Thank you for being here. Always good to see you guys. Thank you to everyone. If I didn't already say it. Oh, I'm looking rough already. Once this, we're getting the polluted. We're the high warning zone from Canada. They're having the fires and it's all blowing here. Last year when this happened, I had like dark circles for weeks. I was like in the oddest form I've ever seen my body in. So I pray to God, okay, this passes quickly. One day really, and I'm feeling it. Anyways, okay, Edgar Velardes. All right, let's move on to Edgar. Next up is Edgar. Edgar Velardes. What's the most important message for Edgar to hear at this time? Most important message for Edgar? What is there? So the girl coming at you like, I don't know why you seem to not hear her. I don't know what you're doing, But I have a girl coming at you like, oh, it's just like, you know, it almost reminds me like Minnie Mouse. It's like, and you're like Mickey, and Mickey's a little bit more like reserved, you know, a little bit more like observational, a little, you know, just kind of watching her and like taking it in. Now, some of this could be because sometimes people talk a lot and it's hard to interject. And so it's like, just let them roll. It could also be that you enjoy watching her be like that. And so you're like, I'm going to wait until she's maybe done, you know, and some of it also feels like maybe you don't want to make a move. You know, there's some level of hesitancy there. So this could be work related. This could be someone who is always very excited to see you. Okay, always. I feel like she's short. I'm getting light brown hair. Almost childlike, and sees you and is like, how do I want to say this? I think to this person, you are her safe person. And sometimes when we find someone who can be our safe person, we're easily able to, even in a work environment, slip into a childlike nature or tap in with our inner child, or we can speak more from our authentic self or our higher mind. And it's like very free, very easy. So I don't know that she always looks that way with everybody, but she definitely is with you. And she wants to spend more time and she wants to have more conversation and have more fun with you. And you just seem to sort of be sitting back a little bit, okay, and just like, like letting it kind of play off of you. And that's all it takes. You know, you don't really have to do a whole heck of a lot. I mean, the vibe is what the vibe is. I always say connection cannot be created, nor can it ever be broken. It is what it is. They either exist or they don't. They're not meant to be. There aren't meant to be connections between every human under the sun, right? And this is one. So enjoy it. But I do think this person may be sort of wanting you to ask them out. And then at the same time, you know, it could be weird. Just be careful. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad would happen, but you also don't want to shit where you eat, and it's a little complicated. So I get your reservation. I think for a while, though, you may be noticing more and more of this. And, you know, it does feel like this is hitting at about, like, I want to say between 2 and 3 weeks out from now. It feels like it's really peaking, you know, in that third week, though. So it may be time to analyze what you want to do with it, if you are going to make any moves with it. But it's very sweet. I think it's very complimentary to you. And I think it's important right now for you to analyze it karmically and understand the lesson here in large part is that you should know how you're seen. Okay, so you've done a lot of self-development. And so it's like, well, I know who I am and I know my ethics, I know my morals, and I know how I think, and I know what, you know what I mean, I enjoy, and I know what I don't like and agree with. That's great. But now how are you seen? Okay, that's the next level up. And you should start working these angles a little more. All right, very nice. Edgar, thank you. Next up is Jillian Corbin. We use LaVolt Room HEPA air filters. Let me write that down. LeVolt. The hell is that? I've never even. LeVolt HEPA. Okay, air filters. All right, I'll Google it. Thank you, Jillian. Yeah, because it's no joke. All right, very unsafe. CJG is up next. CJG, what's the most important message for CJG to hear at this time? Your money. What's going on with your money, honey? You got a grandmother coming in here who's a little bit like, she's kind of got, you know, big chest, and she's a little meaty. I mean, she's not very big, but, you know, it's kind of, I think, the way she dresses and carries herself and her vibe, it makes her feel, you know, bigger. But it's like she comes in the room, she starts talking, I feel safe. I feel like things are gonna get handled. I don't, you know, I don't have to worry about it. Just follow her instruction is basically what I think, okay, in life. This is. So she comes in here talking about what's going on with your money, honey. It seems like you've been making some changes. Maybe you're pouring into something, you're planting seeds, you know, you're investing. That could be your time, that could be title expansion, that could be your education, research. I mean, take it how it resonates, okay? But you're definitely putting in, okay? No doubt about it. And it looks like you're doing that for another ballpark 2 weeks. But at about 5 weeks out, it's like, what's blooming, okay? What's coming out of this? What's coming from here? And she's not really asking. She's telling you. So Spirit speaks in riddles. But it's like this daisy appears to be growing up out of this dirt, this hole. Okay, now daisies are symbolic and it's blue. So a couple different things. Daisies are symbolic of happiness, fun, joy, adventure, peace. Okay, this could be like travel or having money to put into fun trips or treat yourself to things. Okay, all those things. But it also feels like your personality is blooming from all of this. So if you've been saying, I want more fulfillment in the work that I do, but I also want to feel as though I have a stronger foundation. I want to feel more security. Okay, it's like, you know, we all get like this, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When we feel secure, we are more ourselves. So if there are parts of your personality that have been like dwindling, or you don't remember the last time you felt like you were funny, or you were easy to laugh at things, you know, I mean, you're smart. So high IQ, intellectual humor, you tend to need things to be like actually really funny, you know, and intelligent. But I mean, when was the last time you were cracking up over something? You know, it's like even that stuff like doesn't seem to get you anymore. It's like you're moving back into who you were, but higher, okay, vibration of that. And there's talk here of that stability, that financial security, that trajectory. What you can count on from this is also in part because the changes you're making are more in alignment with your life contract. So a lot of people are willing to do a lot of things to make money, but often what they're not willing to do is what they came to earth to do. And that's where the prosperity is. That's where the longevity is. That's where the security is, because now you've got the universe working with you, okay? Filling in all the blanks, making sure that everything works out. You've always got what you need. And that's not something you were able to benefit from before. Now, the fact that this is also blue, a blue daisy, is about self-empowerment. So through the journey of self-empowerment, she says that you, in particular, the last 5 to 6 weeks, you know, have been on, I would even say the last 2 to 3 months, but that's why this is going to work out for you. Okay. You've been doing what you have been needing to do in the area of self-empowerment, which is, I feel like our first collective message tonight. Okay. So I want to say to everybody just real quick, I usually get like 2 of these per show. If you have had a tendency to rely on your spouse, to rely on the government, to rely on employers, to rely on banks and institutions, to rely on, I don't care what, right? Your credit cards, I mean, whatever. If your degree, teachers, educators, right? If you've relied on the outside world to provide you with resources, this is a time for you to be introspective and see what in you is untapped, unfinished, okay? What else you could utilize, and to understand that you are the resource. You need to start seeing yourself as the resource. So it doesn't matter if everything's burning down around you, okay? You are the resource now. CJG, thank you so much. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Maraid. Okay, Maraid. What's the most important message for Maraid to hear at this time, Maraid? I heard shine through others, but never dull your shine. Feels like you're going through a bit of a karmic discovery. So I don't think it's the end of a karmic cycle. I don't think it's the beginning by any means, but you're going through a karmic discovery, which is sort of like maybe a pivotal point, you could say. It's seeing one of the key pieces, okay? If completing karma from top to tail is like putting a puzzle together, sometimes you're waiting on that one particular puzzle piece. so that you could have the vision of what comes next, so that you have a better understanding of the whole thing. Okay. And it's like this is coming to you right now for the next 3 weeks, and then for the next 6 weeks total. So it peaks at 3, it peaks at 6. In the 7th week, we're in a completely different energy. We're in a completely different zone, a completely different boundary that you may have with yourself, with others, with the world, okay, in that 7th week. So it's through you shining through others that you discover where your shine often gets dulled. Okay. Now, this isn't blaming you per se, saying, why do you let others dull your shine? Or why do you dull your shine? Or why do you, overreach or whatever? Not necessarily, because there are a ton of a-holes out there who, they're predators, okay? They thrive on that. They're looking for that. So it's not all that you're doing this to yourself. A lot of it is that they're doing it to you, but why are you letting it happen? Why are you engaging with them? How did that clown get into your tent? You know what I mean? Like, how did that happen? So it's not that you're about to go through a cycle where that's happening. It's already happened. It's been happening. It's been happening since probably you were maybe 13, 14. This is an old story, but this is the end of the old story. This is the puzzle piece. This is the recognition. While you are currently shining through someone else's like mirror, through someone else's glass, through the looking glass, whatever it is, right? You're interacting with other people here for a while, and you're shining and you're being appreciated. It then reflects on that dark energy and exposes it for what it's actually been the entire time. And you have to look inside yourself. You have to be introspective and say, what in me allowed it? What in me overlooked it? What in me disrespected me? Okay. And then it's like this shift, this change. Sometimes we heal through love. Sometimes we heal through fun and celebration of oneself. And there's no going back. That's the power of love. There's no going back once that hits you. You see everything that isn't love. You see everything that isn't that. Everything that is below you now. Right? And not only, do you completely lose your taste for it, you cut it off quickly, easily, off like a Band-Aid, okay? Stuff that was maybe that were difficult for you to abandon in the past, you're not even gonna have a second thought about it. So this is very powerful, okay? Enjoy. Thank you, Mairead. We're gonna move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is CJG. This is some feedback. Thank you so much when you guys send in your testimony and you give feedback on a reading. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna read it. Hold on. So CJG says, thank you, Ivy, for the message. I am happy I'm at this point in my life, and you've been telling me this for years. I appreciate you. You're so welcome. It's always amazing when everything lines up in that way. It's never easy. It always seems to take years, but I'm happy for you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing. Anne-Marie Delora is up next. Anne-Marie Delora. Anne-Marie Delora, what's the most important message for Anne-Marie Delora to hear at this time? Anne-Marie. I feel like it's time for you to do a little bit more sharing on what you know. And the universe has been putting you in some of these situations the last couple weeks, but I feel like you're in, I want to say, maybe a month period where you're going to be asked to share more of your wisdom, your expertise, your knowledge, your accomplishments, I keep hearing PowerPoint. I don't think you're actually making a PowerPoint. I mean, maybe you are, in addition to this, asked to teach, train, lead. That would not surprise me. But I'm talking about a more personal aspect, perspective, okay, and opportunity to share through creativity and storytelling. And you seem to be starving for it. You seem to be thirsty for it, but you've been acting like you're not. So you may have been saying in forever, okay, or at least the recent past, as you're kind of battling this, you know, I don't have any interest in doing that. I don't want to be louder on social media, or I don't want to podcast, or I don't want to be making videos, you know. I don't want to be mentoring over people or publishing anything or talking about, you know, what I know. But the truth of the matter is that you do. And you do because there's a lot there. And there really is a tipping point. Okay. I call it spillover. When you've got too much, you've got so much, okay, your cup runneth over, that the universe is like, you're not hoarding that, are you? I mean, like, certainly you know that that's for you to give out, you know, and you either try to talk it down like it's not of value, or you wouldn't know how to give it out, right? Or that, again, you're not interested in doing that, right? That's not for me. That's for other people to do, and you're wrong on that. So we've got a couple weeks here intensely. I would say probably for the next 2 weeks, but again, I would spread it out a little while, especially because you seem a bit stubborn. Okay, so let's say for the next month or so, you're going to be asked and invited to speak more. People are going to be gravitating towards you more, lingering longer, wanting more of you, and you may be more inclined to share. And I think you should. I don't want to overcolor this. I don't want to say what area or about what or how, or I don't care how. I don't care on what even, because when you're getting started, it's like, don't worry about the polished effect. We're not there yet. It's just about opening your mouth. This is really a way for you to be of service. You've accomplished so much in your life. You've fought so many demons. You've come up, okay, from the bottom up. I mean, you've come up so high that, you know, you're sort of not allowed. You're not allowed anymore, okay, to keep that in the dark. And so just give, okay, and the rest will unfold. Thank you, Anne Marie. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Carrie Watson. Carrie Watson is next. What's the most important message for Carrie Watson to hear at this time? Carrie Watson, what's the most important message for her to hear at this time? Mind your own business, scrub your own floors, paint your own walls. Mind your own business means get out of other people's energy, stay in your own like head, stay in your own lane. Scrub your own floors means you have some cleaning up to do, energetically, mentally. The floors are symbolic of unfinished business, skeletons in the closet, stuff swept under the carpet, things put up on a shelf collecting dust, conversations that haven't been had, conversations that haven't been complete. Okay, and paint your own walls is symbolic of the life that you live, right? Now, maybe you do need to paint your walls. That's fine, but take it both ways then, okay? But it's about putting on a fresh new coat of paint on your life. It's symbolic of loving the skin you're in, loving the life you lead. It's, you know, leading in this case also like by love, by high vibration. I'm seeing dirty walls. I'm seeing smoke, stained, greasy. Who knows what happened there? Let's not, you know what I mean? Like, let's just paint over it. Like, let's just wipe this down and paint over it. So a fresh new coat of paint on walls symbolizes I am ready for new beginnings. I'm ready for a new way of, I feel this heavily for you in the way you deal with other people and socially. I want a new, how do I want to say this? Like, I am a haven. I want a new way of dealing with people so that I am the haven. Your message doesn't feel entirely different. It sounds entirely different, but it doesn't feel to me entirely different from Maraid. So I would go back and listen to Maraids, and Maraid, I would listen to this. This is a similar vibe where it's like, my life is my home. My head is my home. My heart, right, is my home. So my energy needs to be clean floors, freshly painted walls, no skeletons in the closet, feeling as though my life is my haven because I have created it. I don't give a shit what's going on around you. I don't care if the world's burning down, tower moments, people screaming, and that's none of your business. Bringing us right back to message number 1, mind your own business. Okay. This seems to intensify for the next week, but it seems to go 2 weeks. And then if you do this right, you'll get your payout in the 5th week. Very interesting. Thank you, Carrie. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Elvin Ramos. Tony, I'm going to drop you a text. I'm getting my ACs put in finally. I'm a few weeks behind. So if you want to come down, hang out, I'll text you about it. Okay, Elvin Ramos. What's the most important message for Elvin to hear at this time? Elvin Ramos, most important message. It's like there's a smorgasbord here. It's like there's a whole buffet, a whole picnic. This is probably a party. I mean, this is probably some type of a family party, birthday party, a reunion of some kind, okay? But I see a bunch of dishes, and I see a bunch of people talking, and there's music, and everyone's having a good time, and, you know, maybe some people are like drinking, and everyone's just sort of stumbling over each other in conversation, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Everyone appears to be having a good time. And you're sitting at this table with your like corn on the cob, you know, and you're observing everyone else there being happy, and you're realizing that you're not. It's almost like through other people's energy, I receive more of my own reality. And I'm not saying that you aren't faking it and bringing your A game and putting on a good face. But if lately you've been feeling, and there's talk of the last month, but I feel like this stretches for the next 2 to 3 months. So this is karmic for you. This is the long game, a longer story unfolding here. I think that when you're around a bunch of other people, and it doesn't have to literally be where like food is being served. I think sometimes it is. It may be most noticeable there, but it's any time. So even when you're like with your coworkers or you're with your buddies or whatever, and everyone's kind of around in that type of atmosphere, you may be noticing more that you're a little bit more like detached or in your head or feeling numb. And wondering, I guess, when it stops, when that ends. Am I always going to be like this? I think to a degree you've always been that way, and you probably just didn't fully admit that. But anyways, you know, it's time to sort of what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like you need to just acknowledge that the way you are compared to maybe the way everyone else is performing, because a lot of it is just performative. Some of these people are great, and there aren't deep waters there, and they're not going through a lot. That's true. But it doesn't make them better regardless, or doing better and you doing worse, right? Or that there's something wrong with you and the way that you are feeling or thinking or your energy. Don't fight it so hard, I'm supposed to say, and try to like pull yourself out of it or beat yourself up for it. Now, we all have a responsibility to, you know, regulate ourselves and to make better choices and bring healthier energy into our life. Like, yes, we all have that responsibility, but don't be so judgmental, okay? If you're feeling like it's easy for you to slip into a darker energy, or you're seeing things almost like with sunglasses on, like numb. I'm at this table, this party's going on around me, and I'm just like, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Who cares? That's fine. It's okay. Okay. Accept it and know that you're in the process, and make that decision that you are in the process of integrating that. Okay, so you're coming out of something, you're becoming someone new. And I think you also haven't been giving yourself enough props for the work that you've been doing. So it's like you're quick to recognize where more work needs to be done, but have you acknowledged yet the work you've done? I mean, in any serious way? Not really. Okay, so try spending more time in that energy. But it seems like you're pretty good at, like, if someone at that table or in that group were to come up to you and say something to you, that game face is on, the smile's on, the banter's there, you're quick-witted, you're getting the, you know what I mean? You got it going. And it's important for you to reflect back on those experiences later when you're alone. Okay? And what does it mean to integrate the lessons and the healing, okay, into where you're going? It's almost like you want to hold on to the old you. And I'll wrap it up with that, okay? Like, the old you may be gone, and that's okay. Okay, the new you is already here, but you're creating it in the way you express it to the world. Okay. Thank you, Elvin. And we're going to move on to another one. Next up is Vanessa Dempsey. Vanessa Dempsey. What's the most important message for Vanessa to hear at this time? Vanessa, most important message. You seem pissed. I feel like a cat. You know, I'm afraid of cats. The cats here in this town where I moved to a few years ago, because this house was abandoned for 16 years, they thought this was their house. And technically it was. And a couple of them beat the shit out of me. And I had an infection in my foot. They literally beat me. They beat me. They tried to kill me. They were living under the house. Okay. And I'm now afraid of cats who look like this and, like, don't back down. It's like, that's what you look like to me right now, is someone who's like, just because my back is up, don't mistake this. I'm not breaking eye contact, and it looks like you lunge. I think someone has done something to you, or you have had a series of events that have caused you to realize that you are sick and tired of some shit. You are not taking it anymore. You're not allowing it to live rent-free in your head anymore. You're not allowing it to spike your cortisol. I can't prescribe or diagnose. You're not allowing it to take over your thoughts and stress levels at night and disrupt your sleep. You're not having any of this. And it's almost like you're knocking it out, you know, one thing at a time, one conversation at a time, one experience at a time. I see the Big Lebowski. I'm seeing bowling. Okay, like bowling, like sometimes you think you're about to hit a strike and you're about to get rid of all those pins, and it's like, what? How did one pin? How is there still one pin? But you're coming out of that where you are about to get the last of those pins down. Okay, so keep doing what you're doing in regards to speaking out. It feels like in 5, this could be 5 days. I was originally going to say 5 weeks. That could be sort of the end of the cycle, but I would watch out for 5 days as well. There may be one more big opportunity for you to knock a pin down. This may be an opportunity for you to speak your truth, okay, to lunge and to essentially get back what was rightfully yours. So there have been people in situations that have been knocking you down one peg at a time, or stealing your resources, certainly stealing your peace and your energy and all of that. You're done with it in every way, shape, and form. I feel like you may be going through something that also feels like running a marathon. You know, you're in it for the long game. This is like a relay. What do they say? This is a relay, not a sprint, right? And you're going to likely feel that you're at the end of this. You've crossed the finish line between 5 and 7. So I want to say 5 to 7 months. And then you're almost like collapsing, you know, when you're real tired, you're exhausted at the end of something. You're just going to feel like, okay, now I just need to numb out for a while, you know, and um, maybe you're a little, you know, almost, I don't want to say despondent, but, you know, you're going to need more personal space, and you're probably going to take a long period of time to recoup from what you did, what you accomplished. I think ultimately you in the last year have completely flipped your life on its ear. You've turned everything around. It was the end of a long cycle that may have lasted like 7 to 9 years even. And you're getting ready to build the new. Okay, so this is the last of what I would call a detox phase, where you're getting rid of people and situations and old ways of being, okay, that don't serve and are draining at this point. This is very powerful. Thank you, Vanessa. Who's up next? This is number 2 for CJG. Do you want to ask everybody real quick, please give this video a thumbs up wherever you're tuning in from. I am trying to get my subscriber count up on YouTube, which is always tricky because I don't do tarot. I don't do astrology. You know, everything I do is channeled 100%. And I also don't do pre-recorded videos. So it's always a little tricky coming from the angle that I do on YouTube. But really, if you guys could, okay, switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium, hit that subscribe button. Please do hype this video as well. It would be greatly appreciated. Also, a reminder, I don't actually know if I said it at all. Tomorrow is all spirit messages. So you guys love that show. It's all mediumship, all channeling all the time. So if you have deceased loved ones or pets, angels, guides, ancestors, right, that you want to hear from, you could start getting your early questions, and now it is going to be unlimited, or you could just receive whatever message is coming through. But tonight or tomorrow is all spirit messages. All right, moving on. Who do we have next? CJG. This is number 2 for CJG. Number 2 for CJG. What's the most important message for CJG to hear at this time? Somebody trying to come in. You hear that? That's stress. That's my jaw popping. This person is stressed. This person is stressful. I don't know how you dealt with this person. I really don't. Just like the irritation level, just looking at their face bothers me. This person, a male, a bigger male, comes to you thinking you're going to fix their problems. Now, the way they present it is that they are here of assistance to you. They're gracing you with their presence. Didn't you know? They are helpful. You know, I'm always here to listen. You know, I'm Mr. Depth. I'm Mr. Empathy and Mr. Emotional. I can't prescribe or diagnose, but I always, when guys are that, the nice guy, is that a covert narc? Are we sure? No. He is really there to drain. So it's like, I can help you with anything, you know, call me anytime. You know, it's always this person who let you down a whole bunch of times and then was like, call me anytime. For what? For what? Are you joking? Are you joking right now? So this does feel like a test. Like, are you going to be fooled by this or like not? And I mean, the fact that it's coming up suggests maybe you haven't learned all your lessons in this area, not just in regards to this one person, but this type of person, this pattern, okay, of behavior where you maybe want or need, think you need, okay, but you want attention or you want support or you want romance or you want, I mean, who doesn't, right? It's not a crime to want those things. But when you want it to such an extent that you've convinced yourself that you need it somehow, you start attracting these types who believe that they can convince you of anything by sort of doing the bare minimum. And that's what they're coming to do. Okay. I heard again. So I think you know this person. I I think this is someone from your past. And they may have like really long fingers. You know, some men have these weird nail beds that, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like hawk feet. Okay. It's like he's got these weird long nail beds. So it makes his hands look almost like E.T. Maybe I could ruin this for you so you don't mess up. Okay. It's like E.T. phone home. Like he's got these really long bulbous things going on here. And I think that he tries to get in through the phone, like it's like texting or calling or just talk to me. Like his big thing is, if you would just talk to me a little bit more. And it's like, yeah, because that's where his charm is. That's where he knows he can lure you in. Okay, I'm getting 2 weeks on this. I don't think it takes 2 weeks. I think this goes on. Like it's unfolding. This could have started unfolding about 3 days ago. I'm hearing 3, maybe 3 weeks. I really don't think so, but take it out resonates. I would say a few days ago, where his energy is tugging and pulling at you, and then it's going to move into this show of false affection to get you to engage so that he can then drain you. And then it's like, you could be very upset with yourself, like punishing yourself, you know, like beating myself up because I let myself fall for it again, or how did I get here again? You know, why did I allow that? Also, you know, don't be playing games, because I had to say this to a client earlier. I said, be careful. Don't think the universe isn't clocking every thought you have. You know what I mean? When you're entertaining these things and being like, well, I got the upper hand this time. Well, I'm not going to let that happen this time. Why are you playing with this? Why are you playing with ET? Okay? You're telling the universe, send me more aliens that I can't relate to, that don't freaking live on this planet. Okay? Have no human spirit about them. Like, just be careful. It's not just about who we sleep with. It's also about what we feed mentally and emotionally, and whose texts we answer. It's a lot bigger. You know what I'm saying? All right, here he comes. Don't fall for it. Okay. Hopefully I ruined that for you. Thank you, CJG. Good luck. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? My stomach is getting louder and louder. I am fasting tonight. Eric E. Okay, I see what that is. Okay, Eric E. So just try to ignore it. Okay, Eric E. Eric E., what is the most important message Eric needs to hear at this time? Eric? Seems like your money getting to a place where, okay, there could potentially be some financial disturbance coming up, or it could be an upgrade. Now, it depends on how you handle it. So I would say 2 days out from now, make sure you're bringing your A game. 4 days out from now, make sure you're bringing your A game. 6 to 7 days out from now, you're being watched. I don't think it's just you. I think everybody's being watched, but you're being clocked. So you're being clocked in such a way where it's like evaluations are being made. Probably not directly, but like a file is being, you know, filled with forms and files. And then it feels like you have an opportunity to either be not demoted per se, but like put in another zone. So it's almost like I went from yellow to orange, you know. It's almost like I'm put in a different category, or I'm put in a different zone, or I'm somewhere I really didn't want to be. It reminds me of doing more manual labor or heavy labor. Like, this job is harder. You know, I didn't want to be moved over here. And like, it doesn't pay more. It's just harder. Okay. The alternative is that you would move up. So it's like, I go from orange to yellow, you know, so I move up, and yellow is like gold. Yellow is like, okay, I'm being recognized. I may have a title expansion here. I may have an elevated title. I may be given more responsibility, or the opportunity for 2 other responsibilities. And if I could prove with those that I am doing well, capable, you know, I keep hearing innovative with you. then that will lead to more, okay? Like a lot more long-term. I have to fix this puzzle on TikTok. The idea of you needing to showcase that you're innovative is suggestive of other people around you, you know, not being for sure, but also you being able to show that you have skills beyond, you know, kind of like whatever was on your job application, for example, and whatever the, you know, the tasks call for. So it's sort of the equivalent in my symbol base of becoming a brand, you know, which is like, yes, I have these skills or this education or this training, but I also have character and integrity, okay? Or in your case, it's also looking like high IQ, problem solving skills, comprehension, okay? Some stuff that seems to be, hello, you know, you seem to have some people around you. It's like, is anyone home? I mean, if you didn't specifically tell them every single step they needed to make, oh yeah. All right. So anyways, this could be very good for you. This could also not be great if you're not paying attention to how you're being watched. Okay. So again, go back, rewatch this. Hopefully you wrote those dates down. Okay. And I feel good about this. Okay. Certainly. It's all within the cards for you. And thank you, Eric. We're going to move on. Next up is Tiffany W on TikTok says you should make a shirt that says, "Take it out resonates." I should, because it's a lot easier than trying to explain it any other way. Take it out resonates. Or, you know, it's like, take it or don't. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I did my job. That's hilarious. And a shirt with the mansion on it. I had shirts with the mansion on them. I think they may still exist in Redbubble. So if you go onto my website and then you go onto ILPA merch, okay, Ivy League Psychic Academy, ILPA merch, there's a tab. You can go into Redbubble. I believe I have bags and sweatshirts and t-shirts and everything with the Haunted Mansion on them. Yeah, yeah, because I think I use like American Horror Story font on them. Somebody let me know if they're still there. If not, I should put them up. You're right. Thank you. These are good suggestions. I'm going to look into it. Right? I could put like Haunted History Trail, like hashtag Haunted History Trail of New York State on there. That's like super cute. Because back when I got this place, it wasn't on, of course. I mean, this is all new. That's good. T-shirts. Okay. Thank you. CJG is giving some feedback. She said, thank you, Ivy. That message was very helpful. Your timelines are correct. And it is someone from the past. You are spot on with that behavior with him. Yeah. You know what? And they're a dime a dozen because they all really, I swear to God, it's like they have a playbook. They all really do. And it looks to me like covert narcissism. She said, oh, and the image of E.T. with the hands was accurate too. Whoa, I can't. God bless you. All right. Thank you, CJG. Abby H is next. Abby H. Abby H. What's the most important message for Abby H to hear at this time? Abby H. There could be chatter in your workplace, chatter in your space about changes and movements of people and titles and who's coming in and what's, you know, I'm not saying they're layoffs per se, but it's like who isn't, I heard cutting the mustard, and there could be just a lot, okay, just a lot. It always creates two camps of people when this starts to happen. You got your peckers, your hen peckers, your chickens, you're running around without their heads. The chickens, and all they do is gossip, and all they do is try to analyze it, and all they do is try to make accurate predictions on who's going where and what it means, and forecasting the future, right? From a dreadful space, from a dreadful lower level place that can even be self-fulfilling prophecy a lot of the times. It's also really shining a light on who's confident, knows themselves, knows their worth, right? I mean, even some people you get like, hey, if this ship goes down, I'm going somewhere else. Like, this will never influence me to make me turn into a chicken. Never. Okay. Even if I am being threatened, even if I am being attacked, it will not be me. And then, you know, you have your other camp of people, if I didn't already say that, who's like calm, cool, collected, centered. Again, they know their worth, you know, but it's like the peckers come and try to get the confident people to crabs in a bucket it. And I see you watching all of this and being very confident in where you are, where you're at, who you are, where you're going. And there's almost this attitude of like, I don't even care. I don't even care anymore. Okay. Like, if this is what life has to become, I don't care. Take it, let it burn. Okay. Just it's irrelevant. It's not worth it. So there's this recognition, this place of, I heard hierarchy, that you're moving up into through this process. And the whole thing could take, I want to say between 6, well, I saw 5 and 7 weeks. Spirit said 6 to 7 weeks, but I saw 5 weeks. And then I saw 7 is a very separate thing. So say between the 5th and the 7th week, Spirit pointing out specifically that 6th week, okay, there are going to be changes and fluidity, and some of these things may be actually implemented, et cetera, et cetera. And your job during this time is to ride your own wave, all right? And not let anyone else get on your surfboard or try to tell you that that wave is too big or too deep or, you know, too hard to rock. No, it's the other way around, okay? Living like a chicken without your head is too hard to ride, a wave to ride. It just is. It's exhausting, and you're going to drown eventually. And I think that what you're really doing here is creating a more secure spot for yourself in staying centered and out of those types of dialogues. And be careful with the tables you sit at, you know, it's kind of like the high school lunch table, right? Be careful, especially when it comes down, if people are talking about others who may be on the chop block. Maybe they are, not my business, not my circus, not my monkeys. And burying my head, I'm deaf, I don't even hear you. Get some earbuds, pretend they're on. I mean, whatever you have to do, don't sit at those tables, okay? So I think that you're coming out of all of this in a more, I heard hierarchy earlier, but now I'm hearing like prestigious position. And you're able in that 7th week to also have a better understanding on where else you want to go. Okay, so this could be sort of the final conclusionary phase of some pretty big transitions that you've been going through with career for the last 2 years, maybe even 3, but it looks like, you know, I would say 2 to 3, predominantly 2. And this is going to be exciting for you. Okay, where you're headed next, it's going to really start coming into clear view. And it's very nice, very supported, very supportive of you, you know, especially if you've been like, I just want to be more childlike. I just want to have more security. You know, I just want to have a sense of, I'm going to give this out as a collective message to everyone. On the new moon, a couple years back, I did a drumming ceremony, and I led a drumming ceremony, and we all released, you know, something, and then we manifested what we wanted. And I had manifested for myself something I had been using through other manifestation techniques on a daily basis, you know, a lot of visualizations and stuff for, but it just really wasn't getting me there. And on that new moon ceremony, I manifested security foundation, something that can't be rattled ever again, right? And I'm telling you, was the most powerful manifestation I think I've ever done. I mean, my life now compared to then, and that was in the recent past, is unrecognizable, absolutely unrecognizable. Okay, so maybe you guys use that new moon. Is that tonight? I don't know when, but anyways, I feel like I got off track. Abby, I hope that made sense. I think my point was that this feels to me like something you manifested. Okay, this level of security that's coming in now. Okay, and that you're moving up into, and it's like lifelong for the rest of your life. You know, when we talk about lifelong security cannot be rattled, doesn't mean things can't happen. It means you will rebuild. The universe has got your back, okay? You can't lose that knowledge that you can fix your foundation, okay? It's there forever. It's life-changing. The mansion is an image that they can choose on Redbubble. You know what? I need to order a t-shirt for myself and start wearing it then. Thank you. So yeah, if you guys want the haunted mansion here on a t-shirt, probably hoodies. I know I had it at one point on like a bag, you know, you carry it around for the summer. Yep, go out of my website and then go on to Redbubble under ILPA merch. Fun. Thank you, Kim. Or whoever looked into that. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Idenzio Seneca. Idenzio, good to see you again. Idenzio. What's the most important message for Idenzio to hear at this time? Looks like you could be publishing a, I don't know if this stresses you out, but like my jaw's starting to tighten, like clench. I'm going to say it this way. You may have some perfectionistic ideas about how things need to be done. You may have some very specific ideas on timeline or deadlines, or that there isn't enough time. I would let both of those go. Just let that go. Let that go. Let this thing unfold. You seem to be publishing a children's book on heritage, on language, on someone just gifted me recently a children's book on Taino Arawaks, and it's very educational. Okay, that's the point, of course, right? And it looks a lot like that. It looks like it could be part of a series of books that are based on maybe your tribe or the languages spoken. And I don't know why I keep seeing corn. That's the second time I saw corn with somebody tonight. What the hell is going on with the corn? Like food? It doesn't have to be corn per se. Okay, but it could be like corn and other foods that are used almost like, you know what? I wonder if it's like corn, and then it would be like maize, and then here it would be like this other language, and then here it's like this other language. You know, it's like breaking things down. I don't want to color this, okay? But there are stories being told through images and making what certainly could be educational for adults into a children's book so that it's palatable, it's easier to learn, it's easier to absorb, it's easier to remember. Not everything has to be made for adults and boring, okay? Like we can find another approach to holding on to culture and language, revitalizing. I'm hearing revitalizing. Okay, language. I also think that there could be something else in this, let's say, series that you're working on that could be geared more toward teens or young people, that is about ceremonies. So this could also be, and again, it doesn't have to just be your tribe. It could be taking into account, you know, maybe many different tribes and the ceremonies that they use. But for example, you could be doing something like a young, I heard pre-adolescent or adolescent, okay, a book on something like girls who come of age. You know, there are these fantastic ceremonies that honor, okay, girls when they come of age, and there's just a loss of that, okay, in so many cultures, and in general, you know, it can be forgotten. There's something very powerful and almost like feminist about this, and you know, there could be a bunch of other things that come up in that as well, but it seems very geared toward, okay, ceremonies. And anyways, long story short here, because they are all short stories, I think that you need to get out of your own way. I think you need to stop over analyzing the heck out of this. Your perfectionistic stuff, the timelines, forget it. It's on the universe's timeline anyways. You know that, Okay. So let it unfold. And when you feel a burst of inspiration, you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to cut off from the world for 3 days. That's what writers do. Okay. You just lock yourself. And one day you've written a whole novel. You did it on the weekend. You just go into hiding and create your art when it's time to create your art, and it's channeling through you. I could see you working very nicely with a publisher who has interest in this type of series because it's about to become like hot on the market. It's time. It's timing. It's divine timing. Thank you, Adenzio. Keep me posted. That's very interesting. I love this. Okay. Oh, she's giving some feedback. Let me see what's going on here with this. So Idenzio says, I grind my teeth when I'm stressed and my jaw hurts. It's spot on. Yeah, you really you hear that pop? That could not pop until I was done with yours. And I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but with this, you may want to wear a mouth guard or something at night, because if you do it when you're sleeping, you don't know you're doing it. You don't know. Okay, you're definitely and that a lot of that at the root for you is perfectionism, or wanting things to be okay or perfect. Okay, so work with the root issue there and letting that go. Interesting. Sending you some healing on that. Very exciting message, though. Wild Roots with Abby said, thank you, Ivy. It all resonates. You're welcome. You're welcome, Abby. Thank you for being here. Glad to hear that. Next up is Susanna Cruz. Susanna Cruz. What is the most important message for Susanna to hear at this time? Get behind the wheel of the car, getting behind the wheel of the car. You got the keys in the ignition. It's blue, self-empowerment. You've been working on your self-empowerment journey. You no longer care. You're catching yourself in old habits, old rhythms, old patterns. Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Caught myself doing this. I just do it. It's just the way I am. It's just the way I was raised. It's just the way I've always done it. You're stopping because you're getting sick and tired of it. I think you've reached a point in the last 3 to 5 months where you're like, I don't like some of my habits. I don't like some of my ways of being, my ways of interacting with the world, with my own life. I tolerate things, or I overreach, or it's martyrdom, or it's victimhood. You're like, you know what? I'm recognizing it. It's a lower level energy. That's what it is. Because is everything in life not either high vibrational energy or low vibrational energy? Every conversation we have, every person we hang out with, every thought we have, does it not only come down to those two things? Absolutely it does. And so once you start seeing things as a little bit more black and white with this, I think it becomes easier for you to be like, no, I'm not entertaining this or that or holding space. A lot of this has to do with you overreaching, or you overworking, or you, letting people sort of drain you and situations drain you. I understand it can be hard to back that bus up. If you've gotten yourself into some systems and cycles and relationships and contracts where that's what it was, and you realize you don't want it to be anymore because it's not good for you, like, you're out of gas. You can't keep driving this car. That's how this message started, was you in this car. With that type of baggage, you're also needing to see love in a different way, because enabling others or not allowing others to maybe fall on their face or reach their full potential is not the loving thing to do. It's the egotistical thing to do. It's the controlling thing to do. Okay. That's fear, manipulation, and control, not love. So you're redefining that. I also feel like you have essentially decided in the last probably 2 weeks that if you are going to move forward in life at all, you need to change the way you think and change the way you talk to yourself, and be less, I don't want this to sound wrong, but probably will. I tend to stick my foot in my mouth, even when I thought I said something perfectly. How do I want to say that? Okay. A lot of people these days like to talk about grace. Have more grace with yourself. Be more tender with yourself. Love yourself more. Be more patient with yourself. Sometimes these people need a freaking whip cracked, a foot up their ass, fire lit under them. Okay? It's enough with grace on yourself. Okay? At some point, you need to take a cold, hard look in the mirror and be like, I don't ever want to see that again. You know what I mean? And be like, I'm owning it. I'm changing it. I think you might be. I think you really might be, because if you want more, the change begins with you. Now you've got everything that you could possibly need. You have everything it takes to make it. And you are, as this message began, behind the wheel of the car with the key in the ignition, a blue car, which is about self-empowerment. A car is symbolic of power, strength, movement forward. The fact, though, that you're sitting there, not driving the thing, suggests you're the only thing in your way right now from moving your life forward. I think as I say that too, I wonder if you're afraid of outgrowing people and situations that you've gotten very accustomed to. You're very comfortable. A lot of people don't really move on with their life. A lot of people don't really fully engage with their life contract or complete what they came to Earth to do, because they get very comfortable. Okay, and they don't want to outgrow people, and they don't want to leave situations that are familiar. You know, you got to be a free bird. You have to remember, no one is an extension of you. Okay, you came to Earth to be a free bird. You need to remain a free bird. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing's meant to last forever in that way. It will stunt your growth. And you have one job in coming to Earth, and that is to grow. That's the one thing you can't compromise, period, ever. Okay, so working with that, very interesting. It's up to you when you press on the gas and go. It's up to you. So I don't really have like a specific timeline on this. I just have you waiting right now. And it's like, okay. Thank you, Susanna. We're going to move on to another one. Next, I cannot freaking, what is, like, I swear to God, we share a brain, Kim. I was going to say to you, don't you need a reading, Kim? Like, I swear to God. I don't know. Is this you? I don't know. I'm assuming. Okay. Kim. Okay. What is the most important message for Kim to hear at this time? Most important message for Kim. Well, there's got to be something good here, because that was gitchy. Huh. I'm almost dizzy by it. Okay. There's this thing you're going through right now. And it does feel like a thing. It feels almost like it's tangible, like it's spiritual, like it's almost like a creature, you know? There's this phase that you're going through, this change potentially that you're going through that feels like goop. It feels thick and sticky. Like, remember Blob? We could get it out of the machine for $0.25 when we were kids. But if you threw it at the wall, it would take the paint off the wall. And if you got it on your blanket, your mother would beat your ass because it like couldn't go into the wash. And it was like, you remember Blob, and it smelled like poison? It probably was. It feels like you're experiencing this, like you're in Blob. Okay. Or like this change that's here feels like Blob, like it's going to suck me in, or, you know, it's going to collect dirt and hair and dust and fuzz, and it's gross and I don't want to deal with it. It's like, okay, I think what you're doing right now is trying to avoid looking at it. And in doing so, you're looking backward and forward and backward and forward. It literally made me dizzy. I have you looking to the past and looking to the future, and looking to the past and looking to the future. It's almost like you've got one foot in the old world and one foot in the new world. And you're frozen. You're frozen. Because that for this change is not an option. Okay? And that's not to say some things aren't transitional, sure, but like that's long gone on this. Okay, the days of transition, you may have had a 3-year transitional period with this thing, and so it's like that's over. Now you need to decide which way to go. Do you want to go back to the past, or do you want to go into the future? Only you can answer that for yourself. But not knowing, not deciding, not having a concrete sense of direction is maybe killing motivation, okay? So to have motivation, it's like, I need to get rid of this sort of blob here. You know, the spirit of overwhelming sticky change. You also are feeling a little bit like in your head that you're cloudy, that you're foggy, that you're unsure what you really think. Maybe you're struggling to connect what you really think with your heart. So it's like we've got thoughts and intellect and logic conflicting with the heart, the emotions, the feelings, the nostalgia, right? So that's part of the process. I actually think that's where the answer is, because I almost feel like I'm right in the middle, okay, is where the answer is, which is interesting because it's also in the middle of you, right? So maybe what you need to be doing at this time to feel more clear about what direction you're going in, or, you know, leaving this thing behind, whether it be setting boundaries, creating change, getting rid of this blob, I mean, whatever it is for you, right? Maybe what you need to be doing is making sure that your head and your heart are a bit more in alignment, and that you're not being reactive, that you're not making decisions from a place of fear, which is always ego, fear, manipulation, and control. Those are guaranteed to fail. It's not a question, it's a guarantee. It's when will it fail? Okay, so no more decisions from a place of fear. And the other thing that came up with this is that there could be a lot of chatter coming at you. I thought these were girlfriends, or a girlfriend, or two particular girlfriends who, I don't know, I keep hearing sisters, so I don't know, maybe it's your sister too, but it felt like two separate females. How do I want to say this? You could be getting some bad advice. Like, maybe one is giving decent advice, helping you to be more reflective, is a good soundboard, but the other one could be giving you like bad advice because maybe they're stuck. I don't want to say stuck too, but they're stuck. They're immature, right? Just be careful who you take advice from. Just be careful who you hang out with. You know what I mean? Like, some people are always eager to get together because they like knowing that they have company on the level where they are. People like to be with their own kind. And when you're going through a change like this, it can be hard to be around, you know, new people of a higher vibration. It could feel uncomfortable or awkward, but you need to ease into it. Okay, and out of the old there too. A lot of chatter. All right, thank you, Kim. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Susanna Cruz is giving some feedback here. She said, thank you, Ivy. Yes, it sounds about right. I'm trying to break old family habits. And yes, I'm afraid of changing, but I feel like I need to. That is spot on. Thank you. You're so welcome, Susanna. That's really hard when it's family dynamics. It's usually the last thing to kind of go, or the last place we make big changes, you know. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. I keep seeing them and then I forget to say something. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for your support wherever you guys are tuning in from. Glad to have you here. Just a reminder before I go on to the next, or I have a comment actually coming in here from Kim, that tomorrow is all spirit messages. So go ahead and get your early questions in now. It's going to be questions. It's also just going to be message delivery. All spirit messages. The show tomorrow is channeling, 100% mediumship, 100% channeling all the time. So your angels, your guides, your deceased pets, okay, your deceased loved ones, anyone you want to hear from. I do feel like I have a 100% connection rate. I really do. I used to be like, oh, I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but like, it never misses. It's crazy. All right. Kim says, little feedback here from Kim. It's so thick. It is a blob. Spot on. That stuck feeling has been like 2 to 3 weeks. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because I was getting 2 to 3 with you. Interesting. All right. Well, moving out of that, clearing it out. All right. Mackenzie Mooser is next. Mackenzie Mooser. What's the most important message for Mackenzie Mooser to hear at this time? You got to speak, you got to teach, you got to lead. You may be asked to communicate more at work. You may be asked to communicate to other people who like don't know how to work or don't know what they're doing or don't know exactly where things go or what it means. You could find yourself in a more, instructional position or opportunity. I also think it's really important that you're doing this in your personal life or like on your social media. This isn't just a work thing, okay? This is karmic for you right now that you should be speaking on what you know. However, and this is a big fat however, when it comes down to something like dating or dealing with immature people in any capacity, that's not your platform. You're not their mom. This isn't time to therapize, okay? This isn't time to educate. That's not what I'm talking about. It's important for you to know, okay, here's a better way to say this. Maybe in the next few weeks, between 2 to 3, quite literally, okay, you're going to find that sometimes you catch yourself overreaching, that you like to show other people that you're not necessarily above them, but that you know a lot more than what maybe they thought you did, okay? Or that they need to be shown things, they need to be taught things, and you're like, let me teach you, let me show you. It could almost give you a false sense of connection. It could give you an illusion of intimacy. It could create a feeling of egalitarian equality, even where there isn't any, okay? So sometimes when we deal with other people, especially in like a dating thing or, due to the patriarchy and mansplaining and I'm exhausted with them, okay, whatever it is that they do. They're irritating just by nature, I think, okay, at this point. But because of that, we as women can overcompensate so that we are numbing that out. We're like, I don't, hate you. I don't I don't want to punch you in the throat. I don't want to admit that I'm not attracted to you at all just because you're breathing. Like, we don't want to admit that. And some of that is hormones, and some of that is sexual desires, and some of that is just lying to ourselves because we were raised and programmed to do so. And if you want to have a relationship, you have to pretend that's not what you're looking at, okay? You seem to be reaching a point where you are like, I'm ready to be honest about what I'm looking at and that I don't care for it. It doesn't entice me, okay? It's not something I want to engage in anymore. I know more than you. I have more skill than you, right? Maybe you have more money than them. Maybe you're just smarter than them. Maybe you're just better than them, okay? And you're no longer willing to sort of dull your shine, nor are you willing to educate them to get them to maybe quickly catch up or to create a false sense of connection and equality and appreciation where there isn't any, okay? Hopefully I said that right. Hopefully that makes some sense. You're done. You're done with it, okay? So it's really coming from this sort of karmic phase that you're going to be going through here for a while where you're being asked to speak more. And that's great. Speak more, okay? Be you, do you, make money, get the bag, all those things. But it doesn't mean you're supposed to be doing it in every area, with every person, with every group, and in every situation. Sometimes you just have to let some people fall. And sometimes you just have to look at yourself and be like, I'm lying about what I'm attracted to. It's a tough boat to be in 2026 for ladies, okay, that are straight especially. But yes, you could be coming to some significant realizations about that reality. Thank you, Mackenzie. We're going to move on to whoever is next. Black Cat became a YouTube member. Thank you, Black Cat. Welcome. Happy to have you. Black Cat 2137 is now a YouTube member. If you guys want to become a YouTube member, switch over to at Ask Ivy the Medium. Hit the join button. You'll see the 3 different tiers of membership options. So my members get like a monthly horoscope, a weekly spirit message, an email reading once a month, which pays for the entire subscription itself, a monthly mini class, an Ask Ivy exclusive show, and a bunch of other fun things. All right, thanks again, Black Cat. Who's next? Deanna Alt. Deanna Alt. Deanna Alt. What's the most important message for Deanna to hear at this time? Letting go of stress. And you're clearing out your closet. I have you opening up your closet quietly. I heard subtly, okay? You're not bringing anyone else into this conversation with you. This is between you and your higher mind. You know, maybe you and the universe to some degree, or you and spirit to some degree, but you and your higher mind, right? And you're looking at your clothes and you're throwing them out. You're not even like, put this in a box and put this in a bag. I'm going to get it over to Goodwill. And then it sits in the car for 2 months. Like, you're not even. You're just chucking it. Okay. Now, this is symbolic. And I want to say for the next ballpark 2 months with this peaking. Okay. In the second month, this is symbolic of you getting rid of your old reputation, presentation. This could be affecting your work. This could be the work that you do, going from, because a lot of these clothes are white, which is symbolic of healing. So you could be like healing in one way. Maybe you're going to be like healing people in another way. You know, this is also symbolic with white clothing of channeling. Part of healing is being a channel. It's channeling universal healing energy and then giving it out to people in whatever way, you know, you see fit. But it is definitely that universal connection. And it's your crown, okay, as well for you. So I see up here at the top of your head. So you could be channeling more. Now, what seems to be happening here is that you're throwing all these clothes away and you're going through a bit of a period of grief. With every level up, there is a period of grief from, you know, the old way, the old clothes, the old you. And you're also looking at relationships and you're saying, I feel like these relationships are all about to change. Everything's about to be different. You could be looking at a love partner. You could be looking at like children or younger people or other family members. There's a lot of feminine energy. There's like him, and then there's a lot of feminine energy. These could also represent things that you're responsible for. Paying bills, right? The mortgage, medical. I mean, like, whatever, life. Okay. It's like you have these small people or these other responsibilities, right? These are things you have to caretake over. And you're looking at all of this and you're, again, feeling some grief. And that's normal, right? Now, in America, we're not even allowed to grieve a child that passes, a parent. There's no time for that. There's no time for grief in America, okay? But humans grieve loss and they grieve achievements. We grieve when we change. We grieve when we grow. And you're going to have to force yourself to allow, okay, to honor that process while you sort of integrate this new wardrobe into your life. And yes, it will affect all the relationships and all the things that must be done. And yes, but you are more than capable, and you know that, and you will handle it when you're up to bat. If you're ever up to bat, you know, should there be something, you know, where you really need to be precise, or, you know, how do I want to say this? Something's a little trickier. There are opponents. It's chess, not checkers, right? You'll be able to handle it. You will be able. And we're not going to handle it today. Today, we're clearing out the closet. Today, we're throwing this stuff away. Today, we're grieving because we have a lot to celebrate, but change is real. That's what we're doing today. Okay? And we'll worry about the rest when we get up to bed. And we're going to have some fun with it in the meantime. I think what is happening here with the new clothes that are coming in, and you bought them, you picked them, right? They're red and they're purple and they're indigo, you know, they're like burnt orange and they're bright yellow canary. I mean, there's like emerald green in here. I mean, these are like amazing, almost like Caribbean colors, you know, like a Moroccan feel to some of this. You are bringing color into your life. That's the most important thing. And the way you present to the world, all this newness that you're presenting to the world. It's colorful, it's artistic, it's creative, it's flowing. Okay. It's a big deal. And it's a lot different than the clothes that were in there. So be kind. Okay. Be kind with yourself while you transition. Okay. Thank you, Deanna. Good luck with all that. Very exciting. No, we're not taking questions tonight, Denise. Tonight is not a question show. Tomorrow is a question show. So if you have specific questions, you can get your early questions in now for tomorrow's show. But if you guys have a question that you need answered, you can also drop an email question if like you don't need a full reading, you know, but you can get an email reading on my website, or you can always book, you know, if you just have a couple things you want to ask about, maybe a 15-minute read. So you can go to ivyriverapsychicmedium.com for all that. All right, moving on to Brooklyn Nawaka. Brooklyn Nawaka. And how many more do we have, Kim? Brooklyn. What's the most important thing for Brooklyn to hear at this time? Brooklyn. Don't let people influence you. You know, you see yourself as part of a community. Good. You see yourself as needing to take into consideration the things other people say. True. You see yourself as being someone who has a lot of experience, and you know, maybe you feel like you're well read, or you're, you know, educated, and you give good advice. Absolutely. But at some point you blend all these ingredients together. You have a grandmother coming through mom's side of the family who says, like, you blend all of this together and you decide that somehow it's all the same meal, it's all the same thing, and you let one affect the other. For example, you may know what you need to do in your life, but you're going to take someone else's opinion about what you should and should not do, how they feel about it emotionally, their perception on it. You're going to take it into serious consideration, because when you give them information, you know it's worth being taken into serious consideration. That shit doesn't go both ways. Okay? It's like you've decided that these are interconnected, and they're not. So as you go forward, you're going to get tested a few different times with two changes you have going on in your life. You could start to see a lot of like number 4s or 444. Okay. 4s change in one area, but if you got a couple different things going on. Okay. So you could start to see sets of 4. I think that in particular with work, anything you're thinking of doing with like work, career, training, education, certifications, side hustle, investment, entrepreneurship, business ownership, independent contracting, consultant work, anything you're thinking of doing, okay, with that. This is a one-woman show. All right? This is between you and your higher mind. This is between you and your life contract. This is not between, you know, you and the way a family member feels about it. I don't care how you feel about it. You know what the hell? Like one has nothing to do with the other. I don't care how much you respect that person. I don't care how many other times in life you've taken their advice. I don't care how many times you took their advice and it was good advice. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that it's, exclusively true, that it's always right, or accurate for you or accurate for where you are right now. Anyways, long story short, I don't want to go off on a tangent on this. It's really important that you are knowing what it is that you're supposed to be doing and changing in your life right now, and whether other people have big feelings or opinions, or even if they're being kind of catty about it. Sometimes people won't say much to you, but they'll kind of make the eyes with someone else, or they're holding back, or they're just like, like, you can't care about that. Okay? Don't consider it. And there are plenty of times when you have given wisdom or knowledge, to someone else, and they did not take it, and you held space for them regardless. You maybe judge them, okay, but you held space for them. And if people aren't going to do that with you, you're going to have some bigger wake-up calls here, okay, to deal with. But we'll see how they behave. All right. Anyways, some definite changes coming up. I feel good about it. Really, really good about it if you do them. Okay. Now, moving on, who do we have next? Holy shnikes. Okay. Thank you, Kim. Jillian is next. Jillian. What's the most important thing for Jillian to hear at this time? Jillian, most important thing for Jillian to hear at this time. I heard like speak truth to power. I heard put your money where your mouth is. And I heard it's time to invest. So it does look like this is a time when you need to be investing more in your career title, or what it is specifically that you want to be doing with your work, not necessarily waiting on someone to give you the okay, to give you the go ahead, to offer you the position. It's like, this is the title I want to have, or what I want to be doing, and I'm going to go get it. If I can't have it here, I'm going to go get it somewhere else. I'm going to go create it. There's a lot of creation energy and a lot of healing energy. The color green keeps coming up with you, and Archangel Raphael. Okay, so who watches over healing of self, leading to eventually healing of others. And so you've been quite monitored, I want to say, the last 2 months, but you've been going through some transition with all of this for about 7 months. And now it's coming to a bit of a head. It's coming into play, where for the next, I want to say, ballpark 2 to 5 weeks, with this peaking, and you could be done with this cycle at 7 weeks out from now, you could find that you're looking at, maybe bosses, for example, or systems that restrict, take it how it resonates, where you are saying, this isn't going to work for me unless this starts working for me. It's almost like an ultimatum. You're like, if I'm staying, I need to be moved up now. If I'm staying, I need what I want now. It's not a debate anymore. It's not a wait. And it's not holding space where maybe promises are being made, or agreements, are being discussed. Opportunity is discussed. It would have to be like a contract, or you're creating. Okay, you're going out and you're creating. So I feel good about this, but it does feel like you need to be sharp. It feels like you need to be clear and concise, and you need to not be like pussyfooting around. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jillian. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Tiffany Williams. Tiffany Williams. What's the most important message for Tiffany to hear at this time? There's a lot of dad energy coming in here with you. I want to say, this upcoming week, but it really seems to be hitting a pivotal point at about 3 weeks out from now. So you could be dealing with dad energy, whether it's directly dealing with dad, like, you know, in spirit, in the literal sense, you know, maybe just more karmically in other dimensions is how it feels for the most part, like in thought, in meditation, through astral travel, in the sleep state. Okay. So essentially, you're working things out. Now, I don't feel like it's a time for you to keep overreaching and trying and, you know, oh, dad, I love you. And, you know, trying to, either get his attention or even parentification, where it's like taking care of him, I'm taking care of him, or let's make sure we're having a loving exchange. Let me. It needs to be coming from him. And you need to learn to sit back and receive it, or don't. I mean, it's up to you. Okay. But like, stop. Like, stop trying to control and conjure and facilitate. Stop. Okay. So I have his energy coming to you, trying to resolve a bunch of karma. Okay. And when we're talking about karma, it's never one little thing, you know, it's always like this and that and this and that, and it can jump from category to category. And that's fine. That's how karma is sometimes. But it's for you to observe and nothing else. It's for you to, I would say, if you're comfortable accepting it, absorb it. And to maybe even journal it, you know, like write down these experiences you're having, what you're processing, how it feels to your nervous system. Dysregulated, regulated, went from dysregulated to regulated. Okay. What is happening? How is it happening? It's a whole bunch of storylines unfolding, 5 in particular, where you are finally able to alchemize, not because you haven't done the work, you've done a lot of work, but you can't really fully transmute something until it's time. I like to say we do 50% of the work and then the universe comes in and does 50% of the work. But when it deals with another person and there's a contract, it's like you do 50% of the work, and when they're ready, that other half of the work comes in from them. So it's important for you to decide what you want to receive, decide what you don't, but analyze it all. Okay. And notice how the healing is happening through you. Okay. With you. And that it's not all for you to control. It's like you could find that you end up sort of exhausted for the next few weeks, going through a bit of a kundalini, a detox, letting go. You know, I finally stopped. Has anyone else ever just woken up one day and you were like, I'm done hustling. I'm done. Like, I'm just done hustling. And I don't care how many years or in how many ways you had hustled, you're just done. Has anyone ever gone through that? And you're just in alignment. It's hard to explain how the hell you got there. And it can be frightening. It can be like, well, I can't lose my edge. Well, I can't lose my hustle game. Well, I can't just let go, but you can't get back, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you're aligned, you can't unline, right? You can, I mean, but it's going to haunt you and you're going to get your ass back in check in record time, because it's uncomfortable. It's impossible to live out of alignment. It's like, that's what this feels like. Anyway, so allow. Okay, Tiffany, thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Janet Gomez is next. Janet Gomez. What's the most important message for Janet to hear at this time? Janet Gomez. Most important message for Janet to hear at this time. Somebody was stressing you out, but it was like, I'm going to hold it in. I'm going to hold it in. I'm not going to say anything. I'm lying about it. It's not that bad. And it may have become, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, but internal or immune. It may have affected inflammation or your immune system, or it may have been affecting, okay, you, because when we hold stress in and when we don't release and recognize things like righteous anger and triggers and, you know, where we're being victimized or taken advantage of, whatever for you. Okay. When we don't recognize these things and actually handle them, they build. Okay. They build mentally, then they build emotionally, then they build energetically, then they build physically, okay? Then they build in law of attraction. I mean, it's going to take over eventually every single system that there is. And what you seem to be going through is a period of coming out and saying to everyone, the symbol Spirit's giving here is that you're in your kitchen. Okay, now all I can see is that stupid t-shirt. Who did that to me? Take it out, resonates. But it's like you're in your kitchen and you've got lemons and you've got this nice mint green retro 60s fridge and you've got this cute little pink coffee maker, like this retro. You've got everything, your tiles, everything are perfect. You've got everything designed the way you want it. You know, it's like, this is my happy place. This is my safe space. I see you cutting up lemons, which are about increasing immunity, cleansing. Okay, I see you cutting lemons. I see you cutting up greens, right? Which is about like nutrition. I think people start coming in your kitchen with their muddy ass shoes and their bad attitudes, opening cabinets, slamming them, not closing drawers. I can hear silverware clanking and you know it's no longer in the right place. And making dirty dishes and you're done. Okay, you are just like, everybody get the hell out of my kitchen. Now, what is this? Okay, what is this? Could this be happening literally? Sure, take it out, resonates again. Okay, but I think symbolically, the kitchen always represents the part of our life where we pick and choose, because we do pick and choose what we feed ourselves, our eyes, our ears, our mind, our soul. And we decide whether or not we're going to continue to consume that food. Okay. And sometimes you reach a place in life where you realize that a lot of what you've been consuming is bad for you. It's unappetizing, right? You don't want any more of it, or you're full, and you want to redefine how you eat, okay, so to speak. And what you want right now in your life, and for a while, I would say at least probably 3 months, is to have more personal space and to change the way you think, what you entertain, what you consume in every way, shape, and form. And that ultimately will be better for your health, okay? And I'm not just talking about physical health, I'm talking about prosperity, okay, for your health. But there needs to be an entire sort of makeover going on here, okay? Recognizing what wasn't good for a while. Also, I want to say you got a lot of people around you who don't seem to take you very much into consideration. You know, maybe a lot of people rely on you, but, you know, be careful enabling and overreaching and one-sided relationships and things like this. This is a time for people to be paying you back. And they're going to have to see you in this different way to understand that it's time to start paying that back. Okay. All right. Thank you, Janet. We're going to move on. Who do we have next? Next up is Ada. Ada, what's the most important message for Ada to hear at this time? You could be going on a vacation. You could be eating pineapples. You could be going somewhere where they grow pineapples. I'm seeing pineapples. I'm seeing pineapples being served. I'm seeing you drinking out of a coconut. I'm seeing you, it's like taking this out of a tropical drink and I'm putting it in my hair. It was like an umbrella. Normally people put flowers in their hair. I see you taking an alcoholic umbrella and putting it in your hair. I think that it's time, okay? If you don't already have this planned, I think it's time for you to allow yourself to go on what just looks like a free-spirited kind of, I mean, I don't care if it's like, I'm not promoting Carnival Cruise Line. I don't even know why that just popped in my head. Okay, I've never been on a cruise. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But, you know, I keep seeing Carnival Cruise. I don't care what this is, okay? As long as you are planning to go or going on things, vacations, trips, okay, that make you feel like you're taking a vacation It's a getaway from my everyday life, okay? The boring conversations I have and the responsibilities that are always just racking up and endless, like I'm getting away. It's so cute. It looks so much like you just really thoroughly enjoying yourself and your inner child coming out and you not having a care in the world. I also see people coming up to you, and it's like I got my pina colada, you know, and it's like people are coming up to you and they're saying things to you, and you're like, like I'm not even engaging with it, like I'm not even listening, you know. So you could do this, okay, and be hanging out with a bunch of other people on these excursions, but I think that you're even then. I enjoy the company of other people, but I'm really just in my own vibe, okay? And that may be something you've been feeling disconnected from, your own self, celebration of your life and the simple things, right? Really being you and celebrating you, counting your blessings, an attitude of gratitude, and it feels like being more connected with the universe. So I love this for you. I also feel like you're coming into, you may have a bit of a horseshoe up your ass here for about another, well, I was going to say between the 4th and the 5th week, I have some stuff coming in, but I see it again at about 9 weeks. I see it in the 10th week. So let's say you have a horseshoe up your ass, okay? I don't believe in luck. I believe in karma, and once karma is earned, you get sometimes like big deliveries of that good karma in chunks, and it could look like luck. It could be misconstrued, but it's like money's coming in, breakthroughs are coming in, blocks and obstacles are being removed, okay? So also that. Now, I don't know if you take some of that cash, you put it towards a trip, whatever, okay? But it's good. It's all good. All the way around, it's good. All right, thank you, Ada. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Hazel. What's the most important message for Hazel to hear at this time? Hazel, most important message for Hazel. Seems like you've been building and constructing something for a while here. And it feels like you're wrapping it up. I'm at the end of the road with this. Okay, here's my masterpiece. And you may be very proud of this. It may have been healing energy and creative energy and like time, you know, and attention and your intellectual skills and like, I mean, just sort of using, right, a bunch of things to create this. I feel as though you now have this kind of masterpiece. I keep hearing 3. It could be 3 days, could be 3 weeks, but it's close where it's like, I'm done. And maybe you have a tendency to kind of nitpick at things and like edit and re-edit and edit and edit. And, you know, it's like writing. It's like, I'll look at a word and I'll be like, it could be this word. Yes, it could be 18 other words, but at some point you need to pick a word. And just because it's different doesn't mean it's better. Okay. So it's like, at some point you just have to stop editing and you have to be like, enough, or I am never going to publish. So there's this almost like a light switch where you're like, I'm done. It's done. It's complete, you know. Now, as you're looking at this like sort of masterpiece, this thing that you've been creating, whether it be within yourself, outside of yourself, I feel like you've been working on a few different things, but I feel like you want to celebrate it, or you feel like someone should be coming in with the champagne or cigars. And while I have a lot of spirits around you who are doing that, right? Grandfather energies, we've got a couple grandmothers, got some ladies in spirit here, a lot of fun. While you've got the universe doing that for you and spirit doing that for you and your own ass doing that for you, you may look around and be like, where are the people? Where are my people? Like, is no one going to bring me the champagne? Is no one? And now I don't know if this is because you didn't share a lot about, you know, this process you've been going through. I don't know if it's in part because they don't get it, you know, because like maybe to them it's not that big of a deal, or they haven't ever gone through it before, you know. I don't want to color this. I'm just going to say it this way. Sometimes we celebrate alone. We're never actually alone, okay? But sometimes our accomplishments in life are a little bit more of an inside job, and it could be waking you up to a whole other phase in your life you're about to enter into, where you want to keep certain types of company. You want people who are a little bit more on your level, or maybe you need to share a little bit more about the journeys you're going through in life, okay? Maybe you want to feel a more connected, deeper sense of intimacy to people in ways that are meaningful to you when you go through something hard or you go through something great. And that's going to be worth examining as well, okay? But this looks beautiful. Very interesting. Thank you, Hazel. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Next up is Vanessa 3045. Vanessa. Oh, this is feedback. Okay. Vanessa said, awesome. Thank you. This definitely resonates with me. Those are the facts for sure. Very nice. Thank you, Vanessa. And thank you for being here. Between the heat and the smog and the like poor air quality, I feel like my eyes are like sandbags, swollen sandbags. I feel weird. How do I look like? All right, Anna Pekka. This is number 2 for Anna Pekka. They look relatively normal. Okay, Anna Pekka. Number 2 for Anna Pekka. What's the most important thing for Anna to hear at this time? Message number 2, Anna Pekka, most important thing. Don't bite off more than you could chew. Something's coming in. Comes in real fast. It's like, here's what it is. Here's the offer. Here's what it can be. Here's what the contract looks like. Oh, don't read that. Here's the real contract. Oh, no, this is the right copy. Oh, you looking at the fine print? Don't read that. Here's the real copy. I'll get you a copy. I'll get you a copy. Where's my copy? Oh, well, we don't have a copy machine. Who said you were going to get a copy? What the hell? You know, it's like, what? What is this? So if you are approached by some juggling clown who comes in suggesting that you should invest or sign or highly engage, give your time, your skill, any type of resources, okay? You need to be careful that, let me put it this way. Even if it's something you've been wanting, it doesn't always make it real when it shows up. And even if it's something you've been manifesting, especially the first thing, this could be one of those like firsts. I'm always cautious when I go to manifest something, and then especially if it's big, it's like a larger scale thing, it's recognized like nationally or internationally. When the first thing shows up, I'm always like, the first thing is always wonky, or it's bottom of the barrel, or it's the worst, or like it's there to whet your palate and let you know you're getting closer, but it's rarely the first thing that is, the real deal. I get that vibe off of it. I'm not saying this is the first. I'm saying it's that vibe. So with this coming in, it's very fast. It's switching out a lot, the information. It's like if you ask a question, you may want to wait a minute once you got that answer, and then go back and ask again. See if you get a different answer. Test it. Dotting the I's, crossing the T's before I agree to anything. It looks exciting, though, like you're entering into a period of time where you could be attracting a significant amount of attention, and people may have an attitude toward you like you have something of value to offer, or, to put on display. So this really seems to be activating at about 3 out from now. Could it be 3 days? It's possible. I was going to say more like around, between the 3rd and the 4th week. We see a transitional phase in general. Now, you may not really be feeling this until like the 5th week out from now. And I mean like feeling it energetically, emotionally, like the old way I was doing things is falling to the wayside. And now I feel like I'm more in the flow. There's something about creativity in this as well. So if you've been doing anything using more of your creativity, your solar plexus, you've been coming at things from a more channeled, like I'm channeling information and wisdom, perspective, it feels like that could be changing things a lot here too. Okay, so look back at recent weeks and any changes you've made. But activity is definitely about to pick up. I don't love any signing of things with quick talkers when we haven't really read the fine print, or can that fine print change? What does this mean exactly? Okay, here's a better way to say this. Whatever you get involved in, just make sure you have the master keys. That's the easiest way to deal with it. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with partnerships, but I will hold those master keys. There's no way I'm giving that up under any circumstance. Okay. Marade is next. Okay. Marade. Second one for Marade. What's the most important thing for Marade to hear at this time? Marade. I don't know how to say this. How am I going to? Let's just say you want, I don't even know what I'm allowed to say on these platforms, okay, anymore. Let's say you want to have some sexy time. And you normally would be like, when I want to have sexy time, I'm going to have sexy time. And like, I don't care who knows it. And, clothes hanging from the chandelier, and you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. Something weird is happening here where you seem to be getting very conservative. You seem to be like, let me button my shirt, or like, let me put that back on, or like, I was going to take this off, but like, I can't take this off. I think what's going on here is that you're going through, and it already started because I'm getting like 5 days ago. I feel like I go forward for another couple weeks here until you figure this out. I think you may be choosing to be less available in that way. Okay, and I have to be careful using that word because these platforms are ridiculous. But in that way, I think you may be choosing to be more, not necessarily conservative, but just less available in the way that you interact and give of yourself. Okay, the exchange itself. Because conservative would suggest that you can't talk about these things, or that you can't flirt with these things. And you are, and you're fine with that. But it's the actual act of, inviting someone else's energy in or sharing your energy in that way. So if you start to feel that hesitancy, that resistance, or like, I tried and I couldn't, and like, that never happens to me, what? You may be dealing with someone or some people, but I feel one person in particular where it's hitting a deeper level of intimacy. Gentlemen, if you have ever, okay, here's a good example. I'll go off the rails a little bit on this one, but if you guys have ever had trouble performing and you're like, I have never had trouble performing, that's because you really like that person. That's because you are falling for that woman. That's because, or whatever, that guy, whichever way you swing, that's because the connection is so deep and you've reached a certain level of intimacy that is almost intimidating, right? And it can cause for impotency or whatever. I can't even talk anymore today. I'm just like so burnt out. But you understand what I'm getting at. I think that essentially, Mairead, you're going to need to be open and honest about how you want to handle that. I mean, I don't even know everything you're thinking or feeling, you know what I mean? But at least open and honest with yourself first. And then, you don't want this person to feel maybe like you're not attracted to them, or like you're not interested in them in that way. It just is, when you have an actual connection, sometimes that part, even though there can be a ton of passion there, gets weird. because anyone can just sleep with anyone else. Anyone can just have an orgasm. Anyone can just, you know, get off on that, have a one night stand or whatever. Like a lot of people anyways, right? And feel nothing emotionally, intellectually, right? Synergistically, if that's a word. But when you have those other things, they're so big, they're so important that the other intimate part can get weird. Okay, so anyways, I see you needing to process that and what it means, and try not to also be like, well, I guess from here forward in my life, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. Or I guess from here on, I'm going to be this. This isn't a black or white thing. This isn't a forever thing. It's with this person type of thing. Okay, it's not like I changed. Or a lot of guys will get really upset when they go through something like that. And they're like, I don't really have these problems. I don't have these problems, you know? And then it's like, it can become this whole thing in their head where they become obsessed with it. And it's like, you are having that problem right now because of the connection. You're not necessarily going to have that problem tomorrow or with someone else, or, okay, you don't have to make big decisions on your life or your future based on it. Just roll with it. Okay. Interesting. That's good though. I mean, that's good. That's what, you know, a real connection is. Okay, we're going to move on to Arlene, so freaking blind. Arian M. What is the most important message for Arian M to hear at this time? Arian M. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. I wonder if you were told so many times that you can't, or that you should be afraid of doing things, especially in like childhood, middle school, young adulthood, that you read it as I can't. If they're telling me to be afraid of this or that I shouldn't, it's because they think I can't. So now I think I can't. It's like internalizing judgment and criticism. Remember that whenever you received it, even if you don't remember it, I mean, we're going way back, even if you don't remember it, you can always think back on those people or watch those people and say, they have issues with themselves. They were projecting onto you, suggesting that you couldn't because they wouldn't. Okay? Or that you shouldn't because they can't. One has nothing to do with the other. You seem to be breaking out of what has been a lifetime of, and we all deal with it in one way, shape, or form, you know what I mean? Or a million ways and forms, where you have been criticized, downplayed, throat chakra shut down, not heard, not appreciated, not observed. Maybe you had some failures and setbacks, some losses, right? And you've internalized more than what you think you have, an ability to shut yourself down awfully quickly when you should be building yourself up and expanding or being willing to take a calculated risk or to try something new. I feel this happening with you mostly. I thought I was talking about work. I thought I was talking about career, resources, money, you know, those types of things. But now I'm kind of feeling like you may be dealing with this also in your personal life in regards to self-esteem. So this could be karmic for you. This could be a bigger picture where, let's just say across the board, you are being challenged. This runs a 9 to 10 week period where you're going to have tests and opportunities and dreams and insights into yourself and catch yourself, the way you talk to yourself, and ways that you sometimes want to do something and you quickly shut it down and you make yourself wait till later. I want you to reprogram, and I want you to change, you know, that slap on the hand, that no, you know, or that's a bad idea. And I want you to go the opposite way. Start building yourself up. Start getting curious. Start toying with the possibilities of what if I did? What if I did? Some of this may also look like a lot of self-sacrifice, not being self-loving, where you don't always stop when you need to and like rest or give yourself a sweet treat. Okay. Or what's that saying? Eat the cookie, buy the shoes. Or, you know, people sometimes just don't even rest. Like you're sitting there, maybe you're very, very busy. You're not really in the moment or engaging. You know, when you go to watch a sunset, are you so busy, you know, taking pictures and trying to get the right video of it, or, you know, paying attention to what everyone else is doing, or what, you know, are you in the moment? Are you having an experience, or are you kind of living through this sort of filtered, you know, performative bullshit existence? There needs to be more connection. Okay. So I see you working through that. I see you having lots of opportunities to do that again over the next 9 to 10 weeks. And if I were you, I would journal it. I would talk about the different experiences you have. They're not all going to come at once. You're not going to be polluted with this every day, but, you know, maybe you have one, and, you know, one day out of the week, you should write about it. And the next week you have 3, and you should write about all of them, really. Okay. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Edgar. This is number 2 for Edgar. You guys love this show. Thank you so much. Edgar, number 2 for Edgar. What's the most important message for Edgar to hear at this time, Edgar? You got a rainbow coming in. And I thought this was maybe a grandfather, but it's looking more like an uncle. And I feel watchful energy in a paternal way over you, celebrating this rainbow for you. And I'm going to break that down in a minute. But talk of the next 3 months, and then it almost turns into like an elder. So if you have tribal roots, you may be hearing more, okay, from your ancestors, and you're in a way becoming, okay. So I have this elder putting a feather in your the left side, a feather hanging down. This is your receiving side. You're going to be receiving more messages and guidance and healing that you can channel out, you know, to the world. More messages and guidance and direction about what you should be building in your life. Damn, this is like, you come out at the other end of this looking like a shiny new, you know, penny, or like off the mint, like this newness, which is all that is symbolic of prosperity as well. But the rainbow is pot of gold at the end of the rainbow after the storm. If you've been going through hardship, it's also hopes and dreams coming true. It's a bridge from an old way of life into a new way of life. And it's the highest prosperity symbol you can get in my readings. Now, I also think he's sending you prisms and rainbows and things like this in the literal sense, emojis in your algorithm. It doesn't, you know, however it comes. A little kid with a little, you know what I mean, rainbow on their shirt and a little ice cream, like it all counts. It all counts. But it's a reminder that you're moving and transitioning from an old way of life into a new way of life. Now, I think your timelines may be very different on this. So maybe in your head, you're thinking more like 7 months, 10 months, but it actually hits right there. Okay. And so that's it. Everything else is like you may be walking out some other details, but that's when it hits. Very, very exciting. Everything being an opportunity for you to also, I'm supposed to say, heal the inner world. Okay. So wherever there's been like lack or grief, or, you know, maybe just even hopes, but there's, you know, things aren't really coming in the way you hoped. All of that will also be part of this. Wow. Very nice. And he loves you very much. Thank you, Edgar. I keep hearing an R sound in his name. And he may have had a short name too, like I don't want to say Rolo, but it's almost like a shorter, like a version, right, of his name, like a nickname. Kelly Davis is next. Kelly Davis. What's the most important message for Kelly to hear at this time? Is this the number 2 on Kelly Davis? Thank you, Kim, for letting me know. On the 3 more. Why do I feel like, did you have number 2 up there and I just didn't see it? Am I crazy? Yeah? It's weird. Kelly, I feel like I already read you. All right, so this message has probably been sitting here for a while because I would almost put money on that. Okay. Kelly Davis. What's the most important thing for Kelly to hear at this time, Kelly Davis? It's time to put your money where your mouth is. It's time to make a move. This is happening in the next week, week and a half. It's like you've got this stack of cash symbolically, and it's like, I got to put it down. I got to play my hand, okay? If this were poker, it's time, all right? Whatever hand you have, I feel like it's stronger than you think it is. If this were, roulette, it's like, put it up, I'm putting it, I'm making my choice, I'm picking my number, I'm putting it all. This is very much about like almost too, it feels a little bit like off like a Band-Aid, out with the old and in with the new. I think you're dealing with this mostly in regards to like career expansion, investments, with your resources. But I do feel some of this also in your personal life, but that's weird. As soon as I went to go say your personal life, they just showed you kind of like in front of a mirror, putting on your lipstick, like double checking your hair and your outfit and your accessories. And you're like, I'm ready to go. I've got it all going on. Like I am it. I am it. I am her. It's like, what is that exactly? Okay. I think one of the things that's happening here with all of this is that you are affecting through some of this change. Now, this is if you do it, okay? Because this is all your free will. Will she play her hand? Will she put her money where the mouth is? Will you make this change? Will you be bold enough to take what is, I think these are calculated risks, but they could feel a lot bigger than that. I think that in doing so, you're freaking, like, it's crazy. You're looking in this mirror and you look so different. I'm confused by it, right? So when you go through a change like this and you look better and your posture's better and you glow and you have power and you know your power, you are going to influence. When I said personal life, this is what you're going to influence everyone and everything you have had in your life and that you're coming into contact with. And it's going to create some ripples. So I'm not saying they're bad, it just makes waves. It does. And people feel, I don't know why, but like people feel obligated to respond or like let you know what they think about it or let you know that they see it. And it's like, okay, I think you are going to decide who and what you want to take along with you in your personal life. And you seem to not really be hearing whether they like it or they don't like it, or all your changes or all they're celebrating for you, they're not celebrating. You don't really care. You don't really care anyways. Okay. So it's very much like you're making all your decisions internally. You're setting all your boundaries internally, right? First, you're not basing anything on the outside world or people or what they want or what they need, or like it's a totally different life for you. And it's up to you. It's up to you whether you do it or not. Okay. Love this. Also, the new outfits can mean a new literal position. So if you're taking on something very different in work, for example, like the change of outfit would reflect that in this symbology. Thank you, Kelly. We are going to move on to another one. Janet on TikTok is just giving some feedback. She said, thank you. This definitely makes sense. You're welcome, Janet. Thank you for being here. Next up is December Sage 2-1. December Sage 2-1. December Sage. What's the most important message for you to hear at this time? You may have been feeling a little bit lonely or disconnected. It's not that you don't maybe have a social life or that you're not talking with people or you know, that you're not, I mean, I don't know if this is like gaming or just a social event or family, but it seems like sometimes you're very sort of surrounded, you know, by quite a few people, work, what have you. And then you're interacting with that a lot. You're, you know, maybe talking or expressing yourself, and you're putting on, you know, a face of sociability, but it feels like afterward and when you're alone, you are very much feeling as though you want deeper connections. There could be a sense of isolation here. There could be a sense of disappointment. I think one of the things it's time to look at in your life is feeling as though you need to be rescued. So if in your past you were programmed to believe that relationships are the most important thing in the world, and that if you don't feel that you're being totally loved and admired and appreciated and receiving everything back that you know you really want to in a relationship, you know, then you don't have anything, or that you have to have, right, all of these really sort of deep connections in order for life to be of value. I think what you're doing is realizing that you are your own rescuer, that no one is coming to save you, that when you have a need, or you have something that needs to be healed, or you have something that you want to celebrate, or you know, feel like you want to share, it's up to you to get that done. It's up to you to have the right people around who can, yes, support you in that way. But if they can't, you support yourself in that way. It's not like, oh, well, I'm up shit's creek, I guess I have nobody, I guess I have nothing. No, there are a million other ways, okay, outside of humans, to get your needs met. A lot of this for you, I'm going to call you out a little bit on this, has to do with creation. Okay. You have a tendency to stop being creative, to stop, whether it's, you know, creation through art or writing or just doing things that you know, love. For you, it could even just be like motion, like walking sometimes. But when you stop being creative, you get very down and you start becoming almost like a victim, where you're waiting on other people to come and uplift you, or the algorithm to feed you, or the universe to come and stimulate you. And it's like you're supposed to be reaching inside, okay, and finding the creative outlet, expression, whatever it is that you're channeling is trying to work through you. Okay, so sometimes you can get in these cycles, almost like despondency. And I think you're breaking out of that if you choose to officially. Because once you do, there's no going back. Okay, I would say in the next between 2 to 4 weeks, you seem to be encountering repeatedly maybe some people or situations where you feel that level of, I don't even call it anxiety. It's just sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe agitation, okay, or a feeling of, what's the word I'm looking for? When you feel restless, I guess, is sort of like what I'm saying here. Okay, it's time to create. All right, and it's time to take people and relationships off a pedestal, even if you were programmed to believe that that's like the freaking end all be all, you know, of everything. It's important. Yeah, we're humans. We're social animals. Okay, but most of the things I would say that we rely on others for, it's because of societal programming, not because the universe supports it in that way. All right, so getting in balance is key. Thank you, December Sage 21. Who do we have next? Miami Heat. Hazel is giving feedback. She said, thank you, Ivy. You hit it on the nail. I was thinking to myself earlier, I feel like I'm isolated, or I don't know, friendless. Like, where did everybody go? Thank you for the message. Interesting. Absolutely. Well, you always have me, Hazel. Okay. So yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling that lately. I do wonder if that's a bit of a collective message because I mean, it literally just came up with this Sage reading, and then I don't know, it came up a bunch of times, but I do think that we are in a karmic phase astrologically, and we are, you know, in Mercury in retrograde in Cancer, which is all about connections and feelings and, you know, things that have been hidden in the moon, right? And we're figuring out where a lot of people stand in our lives, or if they should even be standing there at all, and how to get things done more for ourselves too. Interesting timing. We're going to move on to another one. This is last call if you haven't already. Okay, gotten your donation in. Go ahead and do so at this time. Camilla. What's the most important message for Camilla to hear at this time? Camilla? I don't know if you're expecting this, but I feel like you're turning into more of a medium. You have an increase, like right here, which is like today, yesterday, okay, the last 24 hours, we're in a 48-hour period of, like, you have this increase going on where I see an uncle, a brother type, a grandfather, mom's side. I see a gentleman on dad's side of the family, paternal energy, a few ladies coming to you. This is a little nuts. This looks like my life. This is Grand Central Station. This is where, I mean, I think they belong to you. Now I wonder. Because when it's like this with me, they're not for me. I mean, I don't even have that much family deceased. But the thing is this: when you have spirits coming through your house, coming through your dreams, popping into your head, sending you songs, manipulating the radio, number patterns following you, freaking birds, squirrels, ear ringing, left ear tinnitus is mediumship. You've got like it increasing in the shower. Okay, when you're in the bathroom, the native belief is porcelain, earth, water, mirrors are all conductors of communication with the other side. You've got it from 3 to 5:30 in the morning, the haunting hour. You've got it when you're dozing off or waking up, when the veil is lifted. You have it more when you're walking, even if it's like I'm walking the dog or something. It's like when I'm walking, when I'm in motion, when I'm driving, it's increasing. You have to at some point say, I think something is going on here. Maybe I should do something, okay, with this. Now, I don't feel like you want to become Long Island medium, or you want to go pop on the YouTube and start, you know what I mean, channeling messages to people per se. But I do see you in the healing arts. And this could, maybe you work more in a clinical, way, but I do see you dealing with people in the future in the healing arts. And when you're doing that, whether you intended to or not, it's going to channel through you. And if you fight it, it's going to force its way through you through trance mediumship. Okay? You could find that you are increasingly, and let me know if you've been noticing this in the last, I would say probably 2 months or so, that you are increasingly sort of zoning out, or you don't remember saying things and people say that you did say something really helpful to them, or you're having not blackouts. It's not like a dangerous situation, but like time lapses. And your memory may start to go, and you're like, I don't remember a lot of stuff. Like there are gaps. Like, why am I not consistently remembering? Because you're in and out of trance states. So this may be something that you want to start working with, okay, in a more controlled way, where you could set proper boundaries. You could turn it on and off, at your will. It's less like I'm just bombarded and I'm just receiving and it's just channeling through me, and it's like freaking Grand Central Station, at like 4:00 in the morning in my bedroom. Like, who needs it? Okay, so there's a time and a place, and there's a way to do this, and you may find yourself examining more on how you want to do that. But as of right now, I do think most of these people coming through, and especially for the next, I would say 4 days or so, they're family, and they have messages of direction, So this is going to be hitting through music, numbers, in your sleep state, and you may hear your name audibly called, especially as you're dozing off or waking up. Like, I'm hearing my name. Like, literally, you're hearing people call your name, okay? It can sometimes be hard to place whose voice that's coming from, but pay attention to this. Your mediumship is, like, off the charts. All right. Thank you, Camilla. Artlyn M on TikTok. Oh, Arlen. Okay, I did say it wrong. Thank you for that correction. Okay, Arlen, sorry about that. M on TikTok is just giving some feedback. Spot on. I talk myself out of things a lot. Okay, well, end of a cycle. End of a cycle. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing that. Miami Heat, Hazel's giving some feedback. I can definitely see where the lesson might be quiet celebrating or finding my people that can understand. Yes. That's always tough, you know, because it's like, it reminds me of new level, new devil. You know, every time you have a level up, sometimes you're like looking around, you're like wanting to celebrate something, you know, and it's like, that's not really happening for me, or it's not happening in a way that like they really don't maybe get it. You know what I mean? It's always a little bit of a, if life is nothing else, you know what I mean? It's growth. That's all. Interesting. Thank you. We're going to move on to Kelly Davis giving some feedback here. She said, thank you so much, Ivy. I am so excited for this new me and who I choose for once, who I want to take with me and leave what no longer serves me behind. Yes. And you know, some people are real scared by that journey. I have you almost like, whatever. So that's going to be interesting. Okay. Was that it? Did you pop up? Like, was there a part 2 to that, or Kim, was there something else? Okay. Tiffany on TikTok is giving some feedback, says, you are right on track with the father energy. I need to work on a mother wound. Maybe that's why. Interesting. Well, you know, I always say with healing, when it's time, it's time. We can't really fully control it. I mean, we can go to therapy and we can do shadow work and we can work on things 100%. But when it's time, it's time. And we're going to need to deal with whatever's ready to come through. Black Cat is giving some feedback. Thank you. I was feeling a little wacky. I have a ton of major life changes they want to be a part of because it's big. Oh, yes. 100%. Okay, and that's Camilla. Okay, gotcha. Well, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. You're fantastic. All right, is that everybody? I think we're at time. You guys, I can't thank you enough for your support. And tomorrow, okay, if you want to join again, we have all spirit messages. So it's all channeling, all mediumship, all the time. It is unlimited. Get your early questions in now. If you've deceased loved ones, pets, angels, guides, ancestors, you have a question for, or you can just come and receive whatever spirit shows up. I'll give you that message. And if you guys need to book, yeah. And then if you got, is that not tomorrow? Yeah, that's tomorrow. All spirit messages. And if you guys need to book a reading with me or a party, I do work in entertainment. You can go on to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. I do work internationally. And if you're like in the Middle East and the time frames are a little bit tight for availability, you can always get a video reading. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Spirit. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.